All right, good morning, Unity Halton Peel. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. It is the first day of March already, so soon. And here where I am, it's not quite coming in but with like a lion, but we got snow overnight, and I was kind of enjoying the greenery again. So
Mhm.
welcome everyone. Today, now, and in the future, if you're watching us on social media. Our mission is to lovingly inspire transformation and be of service to the world. And I realized I am being of service here, and I didn't introduce myself. My name is Wendy Karr. I am a licensed Unity teacher, which in layman's terms and in general terms means I'm a lay minister. There's a lot I can do and some things I can't, but it is my honor and joy to be both your host and your guest speaker today. Our daily word for today is illumination. And Margaret, please share with us.
You, Wendy? I walk with faith along the path of light. When someone gets a flash of insight or makes a sudden realization, it is often said that a light bulb has gone off. It is no surprise that growing in understanding is likened to light, which brings brightness and clarity to what was once obscured by darkness. I am grateful for the illumination I have received as I have traveled the divine path. My spiritual growth may not always be easy, but I will never stop learning and discovering. But there is such value in the journey itself. These moments, I feel newly close to God. Those times when the divine within me makes a better choice, and those precious flashes of pure love and light. I welcome my ongoing illumination, knowing the light I seek is already within me. It is you light my lamp, the Lord, my God lights up my darkness. Psalm 18:28.
Great. Thank you, Margaret. All right. I don't know that we've used this song before. I put it in a couple weeks ago, and as I watched what happened this week, I went, well, that was kind of interesting. I hope you find this song fits.
I said some words that were cruel. You said some too. Now we're locked in the conflict, me against you. Well, we can't go back, afraid to go on. So I ask this question: when things go wrong, what would love do now to ease the situation? Give me inspiration to heal somehow. What would love do now? What would love do now? I lose myself in the world, believing it's real. Fight my way through by thinking I forget how I feel. Well, I can't see ahead, and the past is gone. Time to ask the question that moves me along. What would love do now to ease the situation? Give me inspiration to heal somehow. What would love do now? abandoned or apart. I ask myself these simple words, then look into my heart. What would love do now to ease the situation? Give me inspiration to heal somehow. What would love do now to heal the separation? Bring me revelation to see somehow. What would love do now? What would love do now?
Right. Our affirmation for 2026. We at Unity Halton Peel are blessed with an abundantly thriving community, and we know that this is done, is made manifest in all of our lives, and we give grateful thanks. It's March, and if you haven't been there, this is our world headquarters at Unity Village. And our thought for the month is from Harriet Emilie Cady, early Unity author and homeopathic physician. And she writes, "We are each a portion of God made manifest." That brings us into our affirmations. Actually, I chose this picture, and I've since heard that they didn't get much snow this year. So there we are. They sent it all to us. And as is our tradition, I will read the affirmation and pause, and then you can read it with me. For inner peace, in the stillness of this moment, I am peace. And together, in the stillness of this moment, I am peace. For understanding, one with divine mind, I realize infinite potential. And together, one with divine mind, I realize infinite potential. For wholeness, all of divine life is present where I am. And together, all of divine life is present where I am. And for prosperity, all that can be in divine abundance. Together, all that can be in divine abundance. And for oneness, I open my heart in oneness with all people. And together, I open my heart in oneness with all people. And for the month of March, we hold in Light and Love Unity Kitchener and Canadian licensed Unity teachers. And our opening prayer, I walk a path of divine light and wisdom. And let's just take a moment, breathing in, filling ourselves with the awareness that we are come together in oneness. We allow the week that has been to just be in the past. If there's anything that needs to be carried forward, we know that it will join us after this gathering. And whatever is on our plate for the rest of today and into this coming week, we know that it can wait patiently for us to arrive. And we just take a few moments to breathe into this nowness, into this oneness, into this community that is Unity Halton Peel. And for our time together, for the technology that supports us, we are so grateful. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. So I'm continuing my talk on your spiritual toolbox. And today's title is God is, I am. You say, what? You may recall, if you've seen my previous talks for this year, that we talked about faith and wisdom, faith and love, and now we're going to add wisdom. With faith, love, and wisdom, I contribute to the well-being of all. How we can use these spiritual powers, these innate abilities that are a part of who we are as divine beings having a human experience. And wisdom in the past has been called judgment. Some folks call it discernment. I'm just going to call it wisdom because for me, I like to keep things simple. So it's that spot in us in the solar plexus where, you know when something's off, you know when something doesn't feel right. That's your wisdom center telling you. And this is about learning how to use all of these faculties and all of these abilities to make our lives a little easier, to make them a little more peaceful, to make them a bit more loving, and to grow our faith and become confident in our faith. I've always said that faith, love, and wisdom are the three that I rely upon the most. Faith up here is in our brain, so it's our intellect. Does my intellect agree with what I'm about to do or what I'm about to say? If not, I'm going to pause. Love is in our heart. Again, if I'm going to take an action or I'm going to say something, I'll check in with my heart. Is it loving? Is it something that needs to be said, or is it better if I stay silent? And wisdom kind of takes the two of those and kind of blends them together and says yes or no. And I can think of many times in my life where I was about to do something or say something, and that solar plexus said, don't you dare. And if I didn't obey, I got myself in big trouble. And when I did obey, I kept myself out of trouble. And in a couple cases, it actually helped a situation by not saying something or not doing something. So it's something that I have learned over time. Does it mean I'm perfect at understanding these? No. So I want you to hear that. It's a process. We're all here processing. I'm going to start a sub-series as well. And you'll probably see this in our talks this year. The board and leadership team met, and we discussed that perhaps we would like to try and have a constant theme for this year. So we're going to take a nice deep dive into Unity's 5 basic principles. Now, I have seen in the 40 years I've been in Unity a variety of ways of saying this. I like this one. It's 12 words, and number 12 is kind of mystical and magical and all of those good things. God is, I am. I create it, I pray, I live it. And I'm just going to expand a little bit, but as you join us again over the course of this year, you'll get the rest of the story. The idea that there is something that we choose to call God. Now, if I've just triggered you with the word God, know that many Unity folk don't use the word God. We use spirit, divine mind, the universe. There are many more, but just for those purposes. Because we understand that the word God can have a lot of baggage with it. And some of that baggage can be very toxic. So if the word God isn't your cup of tea, that's fine. You are still welcome here in Unity. And you are still welcome to use whatever word works for you. I remember having someone in a class I taught many decades ago now. And for her, the word for God was grandmother, because that was the only person who showed her love. And so her understanding of this divinity was that of being connected to the sense of and the understanding of that one person who loved her unconditionally as a child. Now, I'm going to pull in the second one just because it fits in with what we're talking about today. I am. Now, you may wonder, well, what's so special about that? That is a phrase that Unity uses specifically to identify our divine self, that part of us that is part of the greater oneness, that greater eternal universal part. Some folks might call it the soul, and that's fine. I personally call it the I am because it helps me remember to use my I am in with great care. I don't want to say I am poor because that's affirming and calling to me the idea of poverty and lack and inability to pay things. I don't want that. I can acknowledge that, gee, right now my bank account's feeling a little empty, but I am confident that I am receiving my good. Notice I've got two I ams in there. So that's something that we do in Unity just to reinforce that belief that we have in our own worth, in our own worthiness, in our own ability, and in our capacity to express this divinity in human form. I'm going to leave the other three for future talks. Again, a little expansion on Unity's thinking around God. God is not a supreme being watching, judging, parenting, or protecting us, but rather the substance of all that exists, including us. I've been talking with some folks. I've been facilitating 3 courses this term. And as we talk and as we get to know each other and get to know what path we've been on, what I'm finding is that one of Unity's attractions for a number of folks who are new to the movement is that we can fit in with science. In fact, we fit in really nicely with quantum physics and the idea of energy and of matter and of something that is eternal that we can't really explain well, but we just know it's there. And I'm sure all the quantum physicians who are physicists rather who are watching this are saying, "Oh my goodness, are you kidding me, Wendy? It's quantum physics and spirituality have nothing to do with each other." But yeah, they do. And we're just rediscovering that we don't have to be in a space of that science is wrong, which has been a place that religion has been. But we can find spaces where we can say, you know what? Spiritual laws are like physics laws. They're the same regardless of your color, regardless of where you live in the world, regardless of what your economic circumstances are, regardless of what your culture is or your ethnicity or your sexual preference or your identity. None of that matters. You're still a divine being. And as with physics, there are rules that happen. Like, if I drop an egg, it will fall. How much of a mess it will make depends on what it's going to land on and whether it's hard-boiled or still raw. But the underlying principle, the underlying law is the same. I love this quote from Myrtle. There are times when we go out and seem to become a part of this great spirit of the universe. Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, was raised Methodist. And if you know anything about Methodism in the 1800s, it was pretty strict. It was very preacher-oriented. And she writes, and it was used in one of the movies that was made about the Unity movement. And she talks about going on a church picnic as a young lady and how she was aware of God in her surroundings, how she saw God expressing as water, as flowers, as trees, and everyone else was just focused on the words of the preacher. And she felt that unity with the greater whole. And I think that's something that our movement tends to do. Where's our headquarters? It's on 1,200 acres of land. Not because we want the land because it's valuable, it is, but because we've made a conscious choice to make spaces where you can be at peace and where you can pray and where you can meditate or where you can just sit and listen to the breeze rushing through the leaves of the trees. From Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, by listening to the Creator within, we are led to our right path. And that for me was a big one when I came into Unity. The church that I was raised in was very much God out there in the heavens with his book, judging and about to throw lightning bolts at you if you stepped out of line. And coming into Unity and coming into a space where we are co-creators, where we acknowledge our divinity, where we acknowledge that part of us, and we endeavor to live from that part of us, was very healing for me. And the idea that each of us has our own path, which we co-create. We may all be in the same forest, but I guarantee you we are seeing different things. Some of you might be observing the river that's running through this forest. Some of you might be observing the leaves popping out on the trees. Others of you might be aware that there are crocuses at the foot of the trees. Some of you might be aware of a frog singing in the pond, or you can hear the birds chirping or singing for their mates. And yet we're all in that same forest. But we are led to whatever is right and perfect for us. Can you imagine how boring it would be if we did the exact same thing every day? If we all did exactly the same thing, we all wore the same clothing. I mean, how many science fiction and horror movies have been about that? Because we are creative innately. And again, one of the things I love about Unity is there is room for that creativity. There is room, as I tell the students I've got in one of the Bible classes, for us to read a story from the Bible and understand it differently, and that's perfectly okay. We don't have to limit ourselves to a box of this is what belief looks like. We can expand ourselves. And as I celebrate my awareness of the divine presence alive in me, and sometimes that can be scary for folks. I know when I first came out of my church of origin, there was a part of me that still believed in thunderbolts and believed that God was going to punish me for whatever I did wrong. And it took a while to come away from those beliefs. And as I quietly moved into that space of divine presence, expressing in and as me, and realizing I didn't have to be perfect, but rather my purpose was to remain open and receptive. That things began to change, that healing began to happen. That's why I love that song we heard from Devotion, What Would Love Do Now? Because my church of origin was very fear-based. And Unity asks the question, what would love do now? And right now, this first week of March, we've got some serious questions about what would love do now. And I'm not sure what the answers are, to be quite honest. But I'm confident that as we each be willing to allow that divinity to come through, allow ourselves to express that, allow ourselves to be just a little bit more open, that great things can happen. And I just also want to point out the word awareness. It's not about being perfect with it. It's about being aware of it. Right now, I'm aware that the sun is shining. It's behind me, but because I've got my camera on and because I can see there's some light coming through and making shadows on my desk, I can see that I have an awareness of the sun. Do I have a full expression of it? Do I have complete awareness of it? No. But I have what I need in this moment. And for me and for others that I've talked to where holiness was, something you had to strive for, and if you failed, then, that was horrible. I invite you to be gentle with yourself and say, I will do whatever I can do in this moment. And whatever it is, it's fine. And I found my jar of mustard seeds. Can you see how small those seeds are? Jesus talked about the mustard seeds. And I realized my camera's reflecting on it. But mustard plants grow quite large. And if we have that tiny mustard seed, that's all we need. I was sharing with some before we went online. I put Tabasco sauce on my eggs this morning. I clearly put too much on because my nose has been running. That's what happens. I didn't need all of that Tabasco sauce. I could have been satisfied with a drop, but I like it with more. But just in that awareness of how much do I need, how much is necessary. And if you're having a day where you're not feeling aware of that divine presence, blessings to you. Fine. We love and appreciate you anyway, because it's not about being perfect. It's about being who you are in that moment. And if you're having a what the fluff is going on in this world today, we love and appreciate you for your honesty and your integrity. I awaken to the light within that guides me to my highest good. Now, I struggle with the word highest because part of me is like, well, I don't think of things up and down. I tend to think of them as spirals that are in movement, but sometimes it feels like I've gone down a little bit. But I'm realizing that oftentimes, if it feels like I've stepped back or I've slid back, that oftentimes it's something that needs healing. It's something that I haven't taken care of, or I've forgotten that I stuffed it down because it hurt so much. And now it's time to bring it forward lovingly and bless and forgive and release. And as I'm more and more aware of that divinity within, it becomes a little easier because it's not about being perfect. It's not about dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. It's about expressing who and what I am in this lifetime. And if you've had trauma in your life, if you've had challenges in your life, if right now you are going through one and you're saying, how the fluff am I going to get through this? I invite you to be like this child. Rise up and reclaim my true identity as a sacred being. That wasn't a phrase I heard as a child, a sacred being. But I'd like you to invite you to take that within yourself and remind yourself, I am a sacred being. It won't be forced on you. You don't have to prove to us that you've reclaimed your sacred beingness, but we will support you through our prayer ministry, through our other services. We will support you as we ask you to support us in being the best you that you can be, the truest you that you can be. God is. There is something out in this universe. I almost said out there, but that's an old belief that I'm still letting go of. There is something in this universe that binds us all together, that co-creates with us, that I don't have language for, which is really frustrating. And I've tried other languages to see if I could find something, and I can't. And that's okay. Because what we call God or spirit or divine mind or the universe or whatever, or the language in other traditions, Allah, uh, Adonai, Yahweh, any of these, we come together in our understanding and do the best that we can with that understanding. And now I'm going to invite you to take a little wiggle before we go into our meditation. And this is our thought for our meditation. I can handle any circumstance by tapping into the wisdom within me and all around me. We are not alone on this journey. Not only do we have our inner wisdom, but we have the wisdom of those around us. Whether it's family members or neighbors, or even I've had a couple times where a stranger has said something to me and I've went, oh, well, duh. Of course that's the next best step. So let's just take a moment, and I invite you to say the affirmation to yourself and allow your eyes to gently close or relax. Coming together in this oneness, coming into our solar plexus where our wisdom resides. Knowing that linked with our faith and our heart, our love, that we can tap into the divinity that is greater than ourselves and yet is ourself. And just breathing into this awareness of the divinity that each of us is. And we hold this earth in light and love, knowing that every person is divine and that it is their choice to what degree they express it. And we invite everyone to be a beacon in this world, to shine the light of life, love, faith, prosperity, wholeness, peace, and oneness. And as we move back into our awareness, we affirm my human nature and divine nature are in sync. Let us repeat that to ourselves. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
I love with the heart of God within me. I sing with the voice of God within me. I rest in the peace of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I know with the mind of God within I pray with the faith of God within me. I trust in the power of God within me. Everything, everything praises God within me. I am a safe and loving place, born of beauty and amazing grace. I laugh with the joy of God within me. I shine with the light of God within me. I am who I am 'cause of God within me. Everything, everything praises God. Everything, everything praises God. Everything, everything praises God within me. Praises God. Everything, everything praises God. Everything, praises God. Everything, praises God within me. Within me.
As always, our Unity prayer chaplains are available through praywithdiane@gmail.com. If you have a prayer request or you want to share a prayer intention, please feel free to email her and she will pass it along in confidence to the prayer team. And after 30 days of prayer here, it will be sent to Unity World Headquarters where it will be prayed over, for another 30 days. And we are so grateful for all of the service of our Unity prayer chaplains. As always, we are so grateful for the financial gifts that you have chosen to share with us. We are 100% funded by our tithes and love offerings. And on the screen are a number of ways of sharing your gifts. And you can find more at our website. And let us come together and breathing in and knowing that while it may feel like cash or coins at some point, that truly money is energy, and that we share this energy willingly and gratefully. And join me in our blessing. Divine love, now flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and is a blessing wherever it goes. And so it is. In the month of March, we are continuing to tithe to Eden Food for Change and Unity Canada. Ongoing this week on Wednesday, the Lent discussion group. Anyone is welcome to join us for all or some of the groups. The Canadian LUTs are co-facilitating this gathering, and you can find the booklet available for free download at our website, unityhaltonpeel.ca.
Oh, nice.
Next week, we spring forward, which means that it'll get dark earlier again for a couple weeks, but hang in there. It's coming. Next week is a wonderful week. We're springing forward. Reverend Dr. Jane Simmons will be with us talking about our divine DNA. And after service, we might have a quick bio break, but it is the annual general meeting. And it says today, but I stole this from Adrian for next week, but it is next week that this will happen. So, plan on having an extra pot of tea at the ready or an extra pot of coffee ready and some snacks, and we will get to the meeting as quickly as we can after the completion of our service together. If you are joining us for the first time online, please sign up for our weekly newsletter with all the links and information. Speaking of information, upcoming, sooner than I'm ready for, it's the Unity Canada virtual conference and AGM, May 1st through 3rd. We have keynote speaker on Friday, Diana Beresforth Kroger, renowned visionary whose life journey includes ancient Celtic wisdom and a healing vision of the forest. There will be 3 interactive workshops as well as music, breakout rooms for conversation and connection, a special Sunday service, and Unity Canada's annual general meeting. And you can go to the website. Just note that there is a early bird special on right now till the 9th. So if you are planning on attending, get yourselves registered now and save a few bucks. I believe that is everything, Madam President. Have I missed any announcements?
No, you've done a great job, and thank you for taking control of the ship this morning, Wendy. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, having discussed the divinity within all of us, let us bless our children. And together, children and youth of Unity and of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And we acknowledge and see the divine in each. And as we bring our gathering to a close, let us join together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And as is tradition, Sue K. Riley will sing us out.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. I choose love.
Thank you for joining us today. Have a blessed week, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.